Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to our procurement group presentations. I am Putri Nur Natasha and I am honored to be the first speaker of this presentations video. Procurement is the process of acquiring goods and services that are essential to the functions of our business. It involves defining, sourcing, acquiring the right products at the right price and at the right time. Today's presentation, we will be discussing the various aspects of procurement, including the steps involved in the procurement process and the benefit it provides to our organizations and the challenge that we may encounter. I believe that this presentation will provide the valuable insight into the importance of procurement and it contribute to the overall success of our business. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of procurement. As you can see, this is our teams of experts who will share their parts in this presentation based on our interviews with the person in charge of the procurement department, sharing his knowledge, experience on the procurement, and its significance to the organizations. Before we dive into the world of procurement, I would like to give you a brief overview of the INH Resources Company. Mr. Muhammad Ikmal Putra, who is responsible for all company travels matters in all decisions, founded INH Resources, which is 100% Bumi Putra owned and led. The leading player in our industry, a well-established small organization. The mission is to have low cost and excellent quality. The vision is toward excellence in quality. We are dedicated to continuously providing service and maintenance qualities and reliability. The biography of Mr. Muhammad Faris bin Haji Idrus was seasoned procurement executive, known for his expertise in strategic sourcing and supply chain management. Born in 1974, Mr. Faris developed a passion for business and drive to succeed at a young age. He graduated from Binary College of Management and Entrepreneurship with a degree in business administration and started his career as a procurement specialist at Volvo Berhad.
Next slide, I will talk about sourcing and supplier evaluation. So in procurement, supplier evaluation is the process of gaining access to new or existing suppliers based on their delivery, pricing, production, and manager technical and service quality. The goal is to build a best-in-class, low-risk portfolio of accessible providers. Supplier assessment is a continual procedure for procurement departments that also serve as a pre-qualification phase in the purchase process. Thus, in simple terms, supplier evaluation means assessing whether a supplier is a good fit for your business or not. So at the same time, also take into account your current supplier base to measure their performance and uncover opportunities for cost reduction, risk mitigation, and continuous improvement. For example, in INH Resources, the selection of suppliers in performing a good service also plays a vital role. Every initial discussion before starting the supply is important to provide understanding between the supplier and the offer. Thus, effective supplier assessment is a holistic process that starts with aligning objective, data, and analysis with suppliers in a transparent and fair manner. Furthermore, INH Resources apply an insourcing and outsourcing strategy for their business operation. So INH Resources outsource the suppliers that can help them to ensure what the company needs, such as to reorder the products at the same price. Moreover, what INH Resources usually do is to accept good suppliers who have been paying for. Next slide, I will talk about sourcing and supplier evaluation. So in procurement, supplier evaluation is the process of gaining access to new or existing suppliers.
In procurement, there will be a policy that must be followed by companies according to the terms that have been set. What is procurement policy? Procurement policy can be defined as the overreaching standards and principles that are used to set routes and influence decision in the procurement process. It directs decision by providing under a particular set of conditions within the guidelines of senior management's objective and goals. A procurement policy's main objectives are to prevent fraud, waste, and abuse in the purchasing process and to ensure that the best value or the most beneficial stability of price, quality, as well as performance is obtained once purchasing business-related service and goods. There are several terms that are used by INH Resources, and one of them is ISO 9002 policies. In the quality standard, the International Organization for Standard (ISO) is one of the items that must be in the quality standard. The company INH Resources use the term ISO 9002 where the term of procedures for ensuring quality in manufacturing, service, and installation. For example, to ensure good quality, they have done supplier selection to choose wisely the supplier for their company's need. The selection of suppliers depends on the current needs as well as the work and service performed. Most of the suppliers who cooperate provide a lot of support in terms of good credit terms. Besides, in ensuring the quality of the production, the company has skilled and creative workers. With skilled workers, I&H Resources can maintain the quality of the product well. In addition, the employee is aware of the reduced cost if there is mistake or accident that occurs during the procurement process. Besides the term of delivery policy, a delivery policy is a written statement of the delivery procedures used by a company. This policy covers issues like the expected delivery window, shipping fees, delivery sites, and delivery strategies. I&H Resources use the same delivery policy as other companies in the procurement process. I&H Resources will carry out this delivery policy within 3 or 4 weeks from the order being issued. In the delivery policies, they have used information such as general information, delivery location, delivery time, and shipping costs. Next, quality policies. In I&H Resources, the company put a lot of emphasis on the inspection department before delivered to the user. An inspection entails checking that is examining, evaluating, and anything. To ensure that it adheres to certain standards, we could inspect the structure or organizations. The inspectors must make sure that everything is working properly and that no one is breaching the law. They must also confirm the safety of whatever they are inspecting. The inspector at the I&H Resources Company is responsible for whether the product or material is in the right quantity and condition before they deliver it to the customers. Besides, a warranty policy. A warranty is a promise made by a manufacturer or other similar party regarding the state of the product. Additionally, it refers to the condition and scenarios under which fix or exchange will be made if the item does not perform as the originally intended or described. At the company I&H Resources, they have set a warranty of 1 year. However, it only depends on the manufacturer's defects. There are several reasons why a warranty claim could be denied, and one of them is the owner actions. Each business has a distinct procedure for handling warranties. Even if the product is covered by a warranty, the manufacturer may demand additional evidence to prove that it malfunctioned under ordinary use. The warranty is unlikely to be honored if the product malfunctions as a result of the owner's action rather than a flaw in the manufacturing or design. Last but not least, the term is valid quotation policy. A quotation is the statement outlining the terms and conditions under which a seller will sell the goods or service to a buyer at a given price. I&H Resources has set their quotation to be valid for 30 days from the quotation date. After exceeding 30 days, the quotation become invalid and they will be not responsible for the procurement item.
Next, I will explain the procedure of procurement. The first step is to identify which goods and services the company needs. I&H Resources will initially determine its product requirement. This could be a new item or a reorder or a subscription. This procedure frequently involves going into the technical specs, material, parts number, and service attributes the company desires. At this time, it's a good idea to talk to all company departments affected by the purchase to ensure the product meets everyone's demands. The second step is to submit a purchase request. I&H Resources will submit a purchase requisition when a person or a group wish to buy many new items or services. Department managers, purchasing employees, and financial staff notify the company of a need through a purchase request. The purchasing team must consider the item price, quantity, time frame, and other requirement in a purchase request. Procurement can then approve or deny the purchase request. The procurement team can choose a supplier and complete the purchase if approved. The third step is to assess and select vendors. I&H Resources must select the best supplier and seek a product quote. I&H Resources needs as much information as possible to compare the suppliers quote to others. I&H Resources can search after they have a clear list of requirements and approve a purchase request. Price, reputation, speed, quality, and dependability should be considered when assessing vendors. Due to procurement's direct association with the corporate brand, many companies consider ethics and social responsibilities. The fourth step step is to negotiate prices and terms. INH Resources will choose three or more quotation from suppliers because the best practice for the procurement team to purchase the product is to get at least three quotes from different suppliers before making a decision to purchase the product the company needs. INH Resources will do this because getting at least three quotes from different suppliers is the best practice for purchasing the product. INH Resources will review each quotation in great detail and attempt to negotiate them if possible. In the situation that INH Resources is required to withdraw from a transaction, the company will work to ensure that it's own a number of viable alternatives. After INH Resources and other party have reached an agreement to the final terms, the company will make it a priority to have those terms put into writing. The fifth step is to create the purchase order. After that, INH Resources will generate a purchase order, which is PO, and then deliver it to the vendor of their choice. The purchase order has to include enough specific to point out the precise product that INH Resources require, as well as to make it possible for the provider to fulfill the order. The sixth step is to receive and inspect delivery code. INH Resources will conduct a thorough inspection of deliveries in order to determine um, whether the product has sustained any faults or damage throughout the delivery process. INH Resources is responsible for ensuring that everything is delivered according to the requirement outlined in the PO and that the quality meets or exceed the standards set by the company. The seventh step is to conduct three-way matching. INH Resources procurement team must match the purchase order receipt, packing list, and invoice. INH Resources goal is to make sure the company receive the right products and prevent paying for unlawful or incorrect bills. The corporation will address any discrepancy between the three documents in this step before making payment arrangement. The eighth step is to approve the invoice and arrange payment. If the three-way matching is good, INH Resources will pay the bill. INH Resources should prioritize establishing a uniform invoice payment process handled by the procurement team, which checks each payment for accuracy in terms of the amount owing and the due date. In order to pay all invoices on time, INH Resources may benefit from a uniform strategy. This will save late payment costs and improve supplier relation. And the last step is to keep records. INH Resources believe that all procurement records from purchase request to pricing negotiation, invoices, and receipt must be kept. These records are useful in many situations. It helps INH Resources find suppliers faster, which ensure that the company may restock products or products at the same price and aids in auditing and tax computation. Maintaining accurate documents can help resolve problems. Next, we move to the technique of procurement. The first technique used by INH Resources is normal paperwork or document. The procurement process team needs three documents which are a request for information RFI, a request for proposal RFP, and a request for quotation RFQ. RFI is a document to gather details regarding the company chosen potential suppliers offerings. INH Resources also outsource via the internet, allowing the company to do reasonably rapid and simple searches. Many supply organizations continue to write and mail or submit RFIs electronically to suppliers. Next is RPF. When a requirement is more complicated and there are other important considerations in addition to pricing, an RFP is used. INH Resources intend to haggle over pricing and terms. An RFP encourage INH Resources procurement team, which is experienced to create and submit one or more solution after providing a true description of the demand. The last document is RFQ, and RFQ is essentially a price comparison tool for regularly used commodities supplied in an open and free market with easy access to quotations. The request for quotation (RFQ) is a common requisition form that includes a list of potential providers. It is prepared, checked, signed, and emailed or mailed to potential vendors. Quotations are recorded. The buyer chooses a provider, often based on price, and a purchase order is generated and placed with the selected supplier. The second technique is cash on delivery (COD). INH Resources procurement team pays for a product in cash upon delivery rather than using credit. The terms and allowed methods of payment change depending on the purchase agreement's payment provision. Since delivery may accept cash, check, or electronic payment, cash on delivery is also known as collect on delivery. The third technique is a buying agreement. Select customer can order pre-priced goods directly from the suppliers through system contracts. Office and MRO suppliers are frequently purchased this way. When equipment fails, MRO supplies are needed immediately. A blanket type contract specifies approximate quantities to be utilized in specific time periods. Price provision for price adjustment, daily procurement of material and delivery within 24 hours. Streamline invoicing methods and a complete digital catalog of all products covered by the contract. The last technique used by INH Resources is the vendor stocking system. The supplier maintains stock levels through vendor stocking system or vendor managed inventory (VMI). The supplier electronically create purchase order and checks inventory levels. Most suppliers manage the buyer's inventory. Suppliers retrieve, pack, ship, and invoice. This method reduces process cycle time by reducing process participants. These programs manage tiny orders. Consignment inventory, when payment is made after consumption, can use VMI.
The procurement process is essentially a communication process that decides what has to be conveyed, to whom, and with what format and time period for efficient and effective supply management. There are 9 steps, and the first one is recognition of need. The need in the organization is identified by the person or system by filing in the purchase requisition. What, how much, and when it is needed need to be specified for the procurement department to place the order. Next is description of need. The item must be clearly described and stated to avoid confusion and the addition of unnecessary expenses. And to ensure the effectiveness of requisition, the organization utilizes a database of frequent purchase items. Next is identification and analysis of possible sources of supply. Supplier selection holds an important part in the supply function and involves identification of potential supplier. To communicate with potential supplier, there are tools available which are request for quotation (RFQ), request for proposal (RFP), or request for bid (RFP). And these 3 tools are option in soliciting a business. Another tool is request of information (RFI), which is an optional step. And the fourth step is supplier selection and determination of term. Supplier selection depends on the selection method, quality, quantity, and inventory, delivery, and pricing. Only if the supplier fulfills the criteria and requirement needed by the company will it be chosen. So after that, contract will be negotiated and signed. And the fifth step is preparation and placement of purchase order. Purchase order is an evidence of contract between the buyer and seller. Hence, it needs to be properly documented to avoid any legal issues. The purchase order is sent to the vendor. A legally binding contract is formed when the seller accepts and acknowledges a purchase order. The sixth step is follow-up and or expediting the order. And follow-up is the routine tracking of order to ensure that the supplier can meet delivery promise. An appropriate follow-up date would be specified in the order, and the company would conduct progress inquiry with the person in charge via phone calls, WhatsApp, and emails. And expediting is the pressure placed on the supplier to meet the original delivery promise, to delivery ahead of schedule, to speed up or delay the delivery, and due to the supplier poor performance, threat of order cancellation, and no future business with the supplier may be used to expedite the supplier. And the seventh step is receipt and inspection. So a proper receipt of goods and services is important as it confirms the arrival of the order, the goods are in good condition, accurate quantity, forward to its destination, and ensure the documentation of the receipt is registered and accessible to appropriate parties. And it is usually done by the appointed person lah. So the eighth step is invoice clearing and payment. So invoice is the claim against the purchasing organization that includes the order number and itemized costs. And the system is inconsistent and payment vary based on the goods and services provided. If the supplier invoice is overdue, the supplier must request it or the supplier may seek payment prior to receiving the goods or services. And the last step is maintenance of record and relationship. The performance scorecard of the supplier would be archived for future reference, purchase order log and file, commodity file, supplier history file, and any additional record file deemed necessary are the fundamental records that would be maintained. As for the supplier relationship, it can be initiated, developed, damaged, repaired, or terminated based on the supplier business performance.
In the social and ethic consideration, the organization's involvement in the procurement process consists of two people who have prior experience with the task at hand. The company focuses on universities, clinics, and community hospitals, both public and private. The company not only sells supplies but also provides tool repair service. The company has many suppliers who are willing to cooperate in the given supply and repair service process. Even parties, they always interact well in order to complete the task and hold the acquisition accountable. The company will only focus on the current needs of the person offering the job if the company choose the suppliers during familiarization process. The company's services are primarily based on agility and satisfaction, which is the employer's heart. Even the work assigned to them can be complete well and quickly, it can allowing the users to trust their service. The social media service also allows them to expand the service that they offer via page and Instagram. The company marketing strategy is to serve the university and government sectors, which can directly help improve the economy and provide the student in all universities with better tools in the community development process. INH resources will continue to serve any employer and perform well despite the fact that our service during this service are not associated with ordinary users.
For the procurement document, we have 7 documents which are purchase requisition, quotation, purchase order, delivery order, inventory list, receipt, and invoice.
Our procurement strategies that serve as a roadmaps for the futures embrace best practices in the procurements and use technology to reduce manual processes, boost our efficiency, and free up team members for value-added tasks. Our recommendations in this company is number one, procurement data strategies. It is enable digital transformations. It also advanced analytical, artificial intelligence, machine learning, automations, and other benefits. Number two, automate systems. Automate system as in the supplier discovery, compliance reportings, contracts management, spend analysis, and payment process. And number three is create an excellent user experience. This is because to reduce the numbers of help requests received from the centralized buyers. Now, last but not least, cost-cutting measures. It is to add value through sustainable procurements and collaborations with local and social.
To conclude, to provide the best value for procurement and to manage supply risk effectively, every organization requires informed supplier evaluation. Hence, to choose suppliers and sustain long-term partnership, most businesses employ a structured supplier assessment and qualifying procedure. Furthermore, every step in procurement management is important as it might take serious action if they make a mistake. By doing this assignment, we take lessons and take notes on what we know and learn. Determine who will be in charge of the evaluation, such as in most cases, an employee from the procurement department plays this role, but for high cost or complex instance, an analyst should be hired. A consultant, on the other hand, may assist with some of the time-consuming components of the process, such as research, creating the request for proposal or RFP, and doing a financial analysis, some of which may not be accessible within the business. INH Resources hopes to make more significant move or advancement with more innovation. And that's all from us. Thank you.